Guys, what's up, everyone? I hope you're doing great and I hope you're having a very nice day. So, I welcome you to the Standpoint. As usual, it's me, Edna, and with my co host, Patrick. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hey guys, I hope you are following BNP TV, and I'm telling you, you are spellbound to have, we are spellbound by having a guest here today. He's a writer and author of Business as a Mission, that's his book, and he's also working currently on so many academic papers. He's also
it's okay, Patrick is gonna say that himself.
Right, okay.
We are going to let him introduce himself. Anyways, welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Blaise Nhamvokie. I'm Burundian. I'm an academician. I'm the Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business Studies at Bujumbura Christian University. Yes, I have also published a book titled Business as a Mission, as Patrick has stated. I have published many academic papers. Yeah.
Well, that's really great. So welcome to the Standpoint again.
Thank you.
Very pleased to have you here. So guys, what's our today's topic? We're going to talk about entrepreneurship. Yes. Does it actually reduce unemployment? If you actually take Burundi as an example, since we know the rate of unemployment is actually going higher these days. So does entrepreneurship actually do reduce unemployment? So that's actually what we're going to talk about, and we're going to start by actually explaining what's entrepreneurship. No, let's start by our guest today. So what's entrepreneurship to you?
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
According to me, entrepreneurship is just the ability and readiness to take a risk and start a business or entrepreneurial venture, expecting the return on investment in the future. Mm-hmm. It's more about the risk. You are like predicting the uncertainty, because most of the time we talk about entrepreneurship, but we don't touch the point of risk, of the uncertainty that people don't know. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So entrepreneurship actually, the whole, like, the key of it is, being aware of the risks.
Yes.
When you are starting, starting a business, sure. Right?
Yeah.
So Patrick, what's your opinion on that?
First of all, I don't know whether I'm going to get what to say in front of an expert in the domain of economics. Anyway, I'll have to try, I'm going to do it. So, in my opinion, entrepreneurship is all about solving problems. And I would define it as being able to see what's not going, where you are, and try to find something that you can provide as a solution to the problem. So mostly we have two kinds of businesses that we can link to entrepreneurship. So there are people who are selling services and there are people who are selling products. So for example, you see that in a certain place, there is, for example, difficulties in terms of transport. People cannot get where they want because they are struggling when they want to travel or they want to reach the place. So it's up to you to find the service, the system that we allow them. We enable them to reach the place. In that case, you see, you're solving the problem of the people in the community. So then I would say that sometimes people confuse business and entrepreneurship. So there are many people who say that social entrepreneurship, and I don't know, maybe, we should dig deeper to understand it in a whole. But according to me, sometimes business is all about just looking for money, whereas entrepreneurship is all about also bringing a solution to a given problem in the society.
Bringing solutions, so solving issues in a given area, but also being aware of the risks. But here in Burundi, we see so many people owning small businesses. Can we say they are entrepreneurs? Maybe they are that's a start to being an entrepreneur? Yes.
It's all about the idea behind what they are doing. As Patrick said, it has to have the impact. He mentioned a concept which is very important in entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship, we don't target to a generative or something that can generate income, but our focus is the impact in the community. It's not about money. So now, and that's exactly what makes the difference between business and entrepreneurship, as he said. So these people that are starting small businesses, to qualify them entrepreneurs or businessmen will depend upon the motive behind what they are doing. Yes.
Yeah, so it's all about impacting the society you're living in and your motives
Yes.
behind.
Well, I think I can buy his idea, since, it's all about, what's the reason behind your business? So, for example, if you just want to make a living, it's just a business, not an entrepreneur activity. So, whereas when you were, for example, starting your small business, but targeting maybe in the future to, like you see as you were saying in your introduction, you see there's an employment that is getting higher and higher. So when you come up with a business that can reduce that labor demand, you see that you are becoming an entrepreneur at a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I would rather say that those businesses, sometimes they are, of course, linked to entrepreneurship. When a guy starts a business and he just invests himself in order to bring, as I said even before, in order to bring something that would help the society, then it's already a business. It's already an entrepreneurial activity. So I guess it's not always entrepreneurship when it's all about businesses, but mostly you find that businesses are just straight connected to
entrepreneurship.
Yeah, sure.
So you mentioned something. You talked about impacting the society. What did you want to say? What was what did you want to say exactly? What did you mean? Yeah. What did you mean by impacting the society? Are you talking the same thing as Patrick by saying, when you notice that in the society there's a problem of transport, and then you come up with that idea of bringing buses, to make transport easier for people. Is that what you mean, or maybe you can give another example of that?
Yes, solving the problems in the society or in the community can take different forms or various forms. But what we mean here, as Patrick stated, that an entrepreneurial activity can be qualified as a business activity, especially when it is responding to the needs of people. I give a very simple example. If you bought sugar today in the morning, you didn't take your money to the person who has salt or who was selling salt. You took your money exactly to the person who had what you needed. So that's exactly what entrepreneurship is. It's about responding to the need of people in the community. Yes.
Yeah. So not only in Burundi, but I think in the African range, I think unemployment is getting higher. But we can give an example as Burundi. We are usually told to start businesses, to get into entrepreneurship. Do you think that's really one thing that can solve that specific issue of unemployment?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I think it's obviously, something that everybody can, testify. Once there is a new business, there is a new activity pertaining to entrepreneurship, it's will require, a labor force. So people will be, working in the enterprise or in the business. They're beginning, something to do. They're no longer staying home or just doing nothing. You see, once they are hired, then the unemployment is getting down a little bit. You see? So the problem is that most of the time, you see a business is opening today and next month it's closed, it's shut down. So I don't know how they go bankrupt, but what we have to know is that it's always the key is consistency. Sometimes, as Blaise said in his introduction, people want to start their businesses, they have to make sure there are so many risks. So they have to recon them very carefully. They have to calculate every single detail of what they're gonna do, because the uncertainty is something very, 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 very even scaring. Many people want to launch themselves in terms of businesses or entrepreneurship. So having entrepreneurship is already job creation, which means unemployment is being reduced. It's
getting reduced.
I also buy the idea because I personally believe that no country in the world can develop without encouraging the spirit of entrepreneurship, because everything we see, we are surrounded by ideas of people, innovative ideas. Even the person who made that microphone you are holding, many things we are using, these are the result of creative ideas of people who have actually developed a kind of business venture, kind of idea to serve people in the community, in different communities. So simply the problem is who is responsible? I believe each and everyone is responsible to actually contribute to empower the community through this spirit of entrepreneurship. This is not the task of the government only. This is not the task of educated people. Most of the time in different African communities, educated people have failed in the sector of entrepreneurship because we've been educated to study and apply for jobs opportunities. And that's why you find in many African countries, people who are not educated are the ones that are successful entrepreneurs. You see?
So are you trying to say we actually don't need education?
I don't mean that.
Like to be an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily need to be educated.
I actually don't need that, but what I was trying to say is we should change the mentality and know what is actually what African communities need. Yeah, because if we don't change the mentality, educated people will believe in entrepreneurship and they will actually succeed. And those who, I mean non-educated. Yes. And those who are educated, they will fail in life. That's why you find many graduate from universities. The rate of unemployment is due to the graduate each and every year. I work in different universities. I see the number of graduate students who graduate each and every year, and we know the destination, unemployment. You see, so this is linked to the mentality or maybe educational system. We are educated, we are empowered to actually well-design good CVs and also grab good marks at school. So that's when I apply for a job in Brarudi or somewhere else, I can be qualified. But there is another side of life. Entrepreneurship is the key.
Yeah, but I think what's lacking is maybe that training of being an entrepreneur.
Well,
sure.
Maybe?
Well, no, yeah, so many factors, like, of course, like the government now is like trying to enable many young people to get into entrepreneurship. Like, for example, now in the curricula of high school, like what we call, fundamental school, you see now there's studies relating to entrepreneurship. There's even a course called entrepreneurship, so which is already a good thing. Also, there's an institution there called ADB, Agence de Développement du Burundi. You see the former API. You see there are so many, like BIJ. You see there are so many organizations, so many institutions that the government that have been implemented by the government to help young people to start their own businesses and to be able to do their entrepreneurship. However, there are so many also obstacles and challenges. So then it's always good to be able to know, to make the analysis of the market. I'm not saying it's easy, but it will never be easy. So when Blaise was talking about the educational system of our country, then he reminds me of a great book that I read, like the book of Kiyosaki, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. You see, like, he showed how different they were. A parent who has graduated with a lot of degrees and another parent who has never even been to school, how they educate their child. You see, there's a quite difference. So I think even though we still have, for example, even the entrepreneurship course in the fundamental school, there's a lot to do. There's a lot more to do. For example, I do believe that children now, Burundian children especially, they are still lacking what we call financial education. You see, now they don't know how to manage their money. So it's even hard for you to be able to be an entrepreneur when you don't have even that financial literacy. You see, it requires then, young people to be able to manage better their money. Yes. You see, so as they start the entrepreneur.
Yeah, but earlier he mentioned something that in so many African countries, uneducated people are the ones who are making money. Like, they're the ones who are into entrepreneurship, and their businesses are actually growing and prospering. So do you also agree that we don't necessarily need education in order to be successful in that field?
Well, maybe you got him wrong if I try to listen carefully, because like what people most of the time confuse is like they think that education it's all about schooling, where there's even informal education.
Right?
Yeah. It's part of education, of course. Yeah. But it doesn't necessarily mean that when you go to schooling, you will be able to gather all the skills that you will need into entrepreneurship. Of
course you won't, but don't you think it's a plus?
Yeah, of course it's a plus. Yeah. Nobody denied that. Yeah. But I'm telling you, young people, as we are saying, now even though there is entrepreneurship course in their studies, in their curricula, they also need to learn about financial literacy. You see, they need to learn more about how to use money, because now you see they are spending, without even without so much attention. They don't really care about how they use their money. And you see, after they start crying that they miss what to do. Whereas if they started from their little young age, they start saving a little bit, then you find that in the long run, they'll be able to have at least the money seed to start
a business.
Yeah, something.
Yes.
Sure.
But,
again, Edna, I was not actually against formal education.
Of course, I know.
Because when you are a successful entrepreneur and you have this plus of your degrees, this is something very good. Yeah, but the problem is that we are not raised to become entrepreneurs at school. We are raised to become good employees.
Yes.
We are raised to actually master these formulas in economics, in finance. So that's when we are given an opportunity to become a chief financial officer in Econet, we can perform well. So it's all about the motivation behind it and what we are accumulating in the environment, because the influence in the environment shape the person we have become today, you see. And again, the role of the government, different governments, I don't mean the government of Burundi, different governments, to encourage this spirit of entrepreneurship. There should be some subsidies, some facilities to people who have this spirit of entrepreneurship. Thanks to our government, now we have the banks of youth. We can actually have accessibility to loans and credit in Bij, in Paege, in whatever. Those are subsidies. Another thing, I don't know if you have tried some business ventures. You will find if you are in the sector of manufacturing or production, you find at the end of the day, your production is expensive than somebody who imported them. That's another challenge in the sector of entrepreneurship. Sure. You find your raw materials are here, everything. The cost of labor is not that expensive, but you find the one
that's where there's a problem. Then maybe the raw materials are maybe expensive, or the labor costs. Maybe that's the reason why the made in Burundi products are more expensive than the ones that are imported from outside.
In economics, there is what we call economies of scale. The more you don't have facilities in production, the more your product will be expensive. I'm going to give an example. Yeah. Lend me that pen.
Yeah, sure.
This pen, the cost is how much?
Around 500.
500. So suppose if you were to manufacture this pen, Edna, if you were to manufacture this pen, you manufacture this, I don't know how they call it, wisp. This one, the ink and whatever, the design, and you put it in the market. This pen is manufactured in Kenya, okay? So now suppose it is manufactured in Burundi by Edna or by Patrick. Can you sell it at 500 Burundian
Of course,
francs?
no.
No.
Of course not. That's because of all the materials maybe I used to manufacture it. Maybe it costed me.
Yeah.
And that's the price of this pen will depend on the money that I spent manufacturing it, right?
Sure, exactly. Yeah. And again, the manufacturers of such products, you find that they are developed, they are out of paying or maybe subsidies in terms of taxes, importation of raw materials, they are maybe reduced or whatever, to the point that they can manufacture millions and millions of pen within a minute with those machines, you see. Then, though they can get the benefit of 2 Burundian francs per pen, with millions and millions of pen which have been produced, they can still make profit, you see. So there are so many factors that influence or maybe are obstacles to entrepreneurs, especially in developing countries. Yes.
In the developing countries,
yes.
Not in the ones that are already developed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so after all the things that you have said, someone actually said not everyone has that spirit of entrepreneurship. So not everyone can be an entrepreneur. What's your take on that?
Well, I think the one who said it was much right, since we are not ready all to take risks, as he mentioned. Like many people find that they really appreciate to stay in their comfort zone. Whereas an entrepreneur, somebody who has to work hard, to wake up early in the morning and to work until he sees the success that he's looking for. Whereas many people, as we see in our daily life, many people want to live an easy life. They don't want to pay the price. Whereas everything...
Who wants a complicated one? No one. Who wants a hard one? You also don't want a hard life, right?
I'm telling you, I'm living a hard life to make it more beautiful and to make it more, make it easier.
That's the way, but the end of it is to, to live happily.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. The end. But you see, I'm targeting my retirement. You see, I know I'm young. I'm young today, but I will no longer be having the same energy that I have today. The stamina that I have today, I have to utilize it. So as tomorrow, I see a future bright. You see, then many young people now today, they aspire. You see, many of them, like they want even to fly, to flee the country. You see, because they are really scared. You see, I'm not, blaming anybody, because I myself know how hard the environment is.
Yeah.
But we don't have to, how can I say, to resonate, or I don't know how, to surrender. We just have to stand on our feet and be able to rise and be able to move forward, rather than moving backwards.
And after all, everyone has choices.
Yeah, sure.
A Burundian might not just want to invest in Burundi and invest somewhere else.
That's true. We are not limited.
Yeah, we are not limited. So you also agree that not everyone can be an entrepreneur, right?
Not everyone, because we already say it's a spirit of entrepreneurship. So it's a spirit that not everyone has, you see. But what I believe in is that everyone can be a businessman. Because business is about investing and expect the return on investment. And that's what I would advise for everyone.
to get into business.
To get into business. And sometimes we actually take it in a wrong way. Before thinking of communities, before thinking of countries or whatever, where we're from, your life should be the priority. Because if you are not empowered, you can never empower communities. That's why I believe we invest first for ourselves. Now, when we are well established,
we can invest in something else.
Weak people can never empower communities.
Sure.
Well, that's true. So maybe somehow, anyway, it's a topic for another day, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna thank you guys. Thank you for
Would you allow me to say something before maybe you conclude with the show? Like I think for for the response or the answer to be found, so as we don't see this rate of unemployment getting higher on a daily basis, I think like the government also needs, as he said, to be able to, to incite or to give some incentives, like I miss how to pronounce it very well. You see, like to promote those people want to start their entrepreneurship activities. And after that, they also need to make sure those enterprises, those companies newly created, they are being sustainable.
Yes.
See, I think
I think this government has already started to push, to encourage young people to get into entrepreneurship, because as you said, all the students who are released each and every year can't be expected to be employed by the government. That's not really possible. Not only in those developing countries, but I also think in those already developed countries, it's not really possible, right? Yeah, so thank you so much for coming here.
It was my pleasure.
Yes, thank you as well, Patrick.
Okay, I'm glad also. Thank you.
So thank you guys who are watching us. I hope you learned something. So please leave a comment on what you think about entrepreneurship. And stay tuned for the next one. Bye-bye.